Hello and welcome to Brokers the Brokering, Brokers Edition, where we are drafting brokers in Streets of New Capenna. We are green-white base with a very tiny light splash of blue. The all-star for us is Titan of Industry. This is 7 mana for a 7/7 reach trample, but that is far from all because when it ETBs you choose 2. Your choices are destroy an artifact or enchantment, gain 5 life, make a 4/4 rhino, or put a shield counter on a creature you control. One of the best bombs top-end finishers in the game. The rest of our deck is a low-to-the-ground green-white Citizens deck with 2 copies of Civil Servant, 2 copies of Gathering Throng, a Jewel Thief, Voice of the Vermin, 2 Spars Adjudicators, 2 Take to the Streets, a Ceremonial Groundbreaker. We are basically all citizens except for the Titan of Industry, and then beyond that we're removal and tempo. So let's see how we do, shall we? Game number 1, our opponent goes first. Tricky opening hand. We have 3 lands and 4 cards, but our playable cards are 2 removal spells, Out of the Way and Run Out of Town, and 2 Spars Adjudicators. I think it's keepable, just because the rest of our curve is so low, and I do like having 2 Adjudicators at the top end. So let's try it out. Opponent leads with a Cabaret Initiate, 1 green for a 1/2. Eventually you can pay 3 to give it double strike. We happen to have a copy of that in our deck as well. We'll play our Courtyard, get a Plains and pass. Opponent, unsurprisingly, is green-white base as well. They hit us for 1. So now it is 20 all. We gained a life off the Courtyard. So far we've drawn a land, and we've drawn a Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Not impressed. Opponent is hitting us with a Civic Gardener and a Cabaret Initiate. We'll go ahead and exile, enchant one of our lands with a Spars Adjudicators. This is definitely not the situation you want to be in this format where, you're playing your family fixers on your lands. I'm playing my Ceremonial Groundbreaker. My opponent, meanwhile, is just playing 1 and 2 drop creatures. They go for Celebrity Fencer. None of their creatures are that impressive, but they're attacking us with creatures, so that's fine for them. Alright, so now what do we want to do? We have a Run Out of Town, which we'll probably cast on their turn. I think we're just going to go ahead and pass it back to them. It's 14-20. They're going to attack with their crew, and then they're playing a Glittermonger. We could beat this deck. We really need to stabilize. So yeah, now their Celebrity Fencer is a 4/3, attacking with all their creatures. Let's go ahead and Run Out of Town their Fencer. Okay. Civil Servant, just when you want to draw it, when you're landing your 5 drops. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and play Spars Adjudicators. And I believe we're just going to tap down their Glittermonger. Keep them off of treasure for a turn. Because there's a chance that they're 3 color. They just haven't drawn their 3rd source yet. Okay. Well, we could follow that up with yet another Spars Adjudicators, which is probably what we should do here. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play another one. Tap the Celebrity Fencer. And we'll equip one of our Adjudicators with our Ceremonial Groundbreaker. So it's now a 6/5. And then I think we don't attack. We are getting pretty close to attacking. Okay, they play Spars Headquarters, so it looks like they are indeed brokers. Play Speakeasy Server. Gives them a counter on their Fencer and a bunch of life, so it's 11-24. Spooky. Drew a Broker's Initiate. Basically drew our deck in exactly the incorrect order. Well, we're going to go for a Civil Servant and a Broker's Initiate. And then I think we're just going to have to chill, basically. We could move our Groundbreaker to our another creature. Do we really want to do that, though? Not really. Dapper Shieldmate. Their Celebrity Fencer is getting bigger by the minute. They play Attendant Socialite, so it's now a 6/5. Can trade with our Spar's Adjudicators. Yeah, they're not interested though. They're just going for a 3/3 flyer attack. Their Speakeasy Server. It's 8 to 24. Drew a Forest. At this point, we could take to the streets and attack them for a huge amount of damage. But then what is the question? I think we need to do it. I don't think life is getting better for us. Just attack with everything. Go ahead and tap our Broker's Initiate to give our Civil Servant +1/+0 lifelink. Should buy us a little extra time. We have a huge attack. 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, and 3, 7. 6 of it is lifelink. And Vigilance. Our opponent is hell-bent right now, so they really have to think about this. Okay, at long last, our opponent drops to 9. They lose their Celebrity Fencer. They lose a shield counter off their Dapper Shieldmate. Now it's 14-9. Let's go ahead and move our Ceremonial Groundbreaker onto our Adjudicators. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I mean, we're in a better position than we were, but definitely not a great position. They're hitting us for 3 in the air again with Speakeasy Server. Now they've got a lot of stuff in play still. Cabaret Initiate, Civic Gardener, Glittermonger, 2/2 Dapper Shieldmate, 2/1 Attendant Socialite. I mean, it's not great for us. We could swing out, in which case you're going to have to do some blocking. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play a Civil Servant. Go to attacks. Let's just attack with all of our creatures. Tap a Civil Servant to give us some lifelink. Again, they're going to have to do some blocking here. Inconveniently, we still have an Out of the Way in our hand, and still no blue mana. We've had to use it with our Family Fixers to cast our Family Fixers. So they've settled on triple blocking Broker's Initiate. So we can kill all of their creatures with that one. Okay, this all seems fine. Done. And done. And then we're going to activate Broker's Initiate. Make it a 5/5 until end of turn. So our opponent just lost 4 creatures in that exchange. It's 14 to 3. We still have a 6/5 and our 2/3 Civil Servant. They drew a land. So really, any playable card or a blue source is going to be very good for us. They do have a Botanical Plaza, which, yep, they're activating to draw another card. Man, Titan of Industry would just be so gigantic if we could draw it. I mean, surprise. Our Mythic Rare A+ bomb. Instead, we drew Run Out of Town, the only other blue card in our deck, which is also a removal spell. Isn't that awesome? So they have 1 card in hand right now. So what should we do? We could move. Let's do this. Move our Ceremonial Groundbreaker over to our Servant. Go to attack. Attack with the Servant. Tap our Adjudicators to make it a 5/4 lifelinker with Trample. And then see what they have. They're blocking with Speakeasy and Glittermonger. Okay. Go ahead and take out the Speakeasy. So we lose our Ceremonial Groundbreaker, but we go to 19. We still have a 6/5 Trampler in play. And again, now we really are. There really is nothing. At this point, the only bad draws for us are green and white sources, which we've drawn quite a few of. Our opponent's surrenders. Whew. Thank goodness for that. Alright, real quick, before we take a break, let's take a look at our mana base. How unexpected was that? Because we really only need one blue source. And in our lands we have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the 2 Spars Adjudicators. That game, it just made more sense to just run them out, though, because we got off on the back foot. Okay, I think that was fine. Maybe we were supposed to hold one back? Hard to know. Like I said, the real problem there was we just drew our cards in completely the opposite order. We started with a 4-drop removal and 2 5-drops, and then like on turn 4 and 5 we drew our 1 and 2 drops. It was just completely backwards. And that's not because our curve is bad. Our curve is perfectly fine. I'm looking at it right now. It's a nice, gentle little bell curve. Oh well, a win is a win, as they say. See you in round 2. Sometimes, winning a game isn't about dealing the most damage, or drawing the most cards, or making any measurable contribution towards victory. But hey, just because you don't have the stats doesn't mean you're not a f***ing gamer god, alright? Enter The Intangibles, a podcast on the Geekspective Network, where me, Kenny, and my brother Matt break down all the things that are hard to quantify in games. All kinds of games. We're talking classics like Sonic's the Hedgehogs, and chess, and 3D Pinball Space Cadet. Great game, by the way. We're talking new releases like...
Insert latest trending games on Twitch here.
Single player, co-op, competitive, card games, board games, role-playing games, play-by-mail games, the Wakes. We do deep dives into our favorite games, digging into the intangibles that make them great and the intangibles that will make you a better player, and hey, maybe even a better person. Check out the intangibles on whatever the heck platform you're listening to right now. Game number 2, we go first. A Cabaret Initiate, a Quick Draw Dagger, and a Take to the Streets. Then a blue and a white card, and only 2 forests to play this stuff with. I think we keep under the LSV rule. I was just discussing this recently with Seth, where basically it's better to keep a low land hand than a mostly land hand, because it's much easier to draw into lands so you can cast your sweet spells, whereas if you've got a land heavy hand, you're going to draw some more lands. That's just going to happen. Okay, we drew a forest. We'll take a land, but boy, literally any other land would have been much better. Opponent is Maestros, aka Grixis. They play a Halo Scarab. 2-1. Pay 2 to exile it from your graveyard to make a treasure. Well, this might be helping them, but we'll go ahead and attack. And I guess we should just pay to double strike, huh? It's incredibly lame, but we don't have another play. 20-17. They've got the sweet John Avon unlands. They play Maestro's Initiate, so they're on the all play garbage from your graveyard. Okay, so Maestro's Initiate. Are we now hanging back? I don't know. We could play we drew a backup agent, which we could play to make our Cabaret a 2-3, which is whatever, it just sets us up for next turn. Ugh, it's awful. I guess we just attack them with our 1-2. They take it, sure. And then we just play backup agent. I mean, this is misery. Put a counter on our Cabaret. Now it's a 2-3 that could be turned into a double striker. Party. We'll see what they do. A land next turn would be good, because we could cast Speakeasy Server. A blue source lets us run out of town. Quick Draw Dagger might let us win a free combat. Our opponent just plays Ob Nixilis the Adversary, sacrificing their Maestro's Initiate and making a copy of it. Well, it's probably just game, huh? So now we can discard a card or lose 2 life. Go ahead and lose 2 life. We drew our other blue removal spell. Maybe we just have to revisit this, you know? Alright, so let's attack. Let's try to kill these things. If we attack the 4-1 with our 2-2, we attack Ob Nixilis the Adversary, Yeah, we'll go for that. See if we can kill both of them. I mean, they're going to block, because they're just single blocking each one. So let's go ahead and activate our Cabaret Initiate. That way they can't get us with their 1 damage from the devil. That's 15 to 18. They lost their creatures, but they still have both their Obnixili. I'm not sad that this is the first time I've gone against this dude. He seems like a real pain. Yeah. So they make another devil, we lose some more life. It's 13 to 20. They've got a grip of cards, plus 2 things they can cast from their graveyard. The Maestro's Initiate to draw some cards, the Halo Scarab to make a treasure. And we're looking at a lot of nothing in our hand. A blue source lets us take out one of the Obnixili. Oh, never mind. We just whacked our Initiate. So I'm going to go ahead and concede if we don't draw something decent. A Broker's Hideout. I really want to concede. I won't, though. You know my policy on conceding if you've been listening to the podcast. Not until it feels utterly overdone, lost. Okay, so now we have 4 mana available. So we could, let's go ahead and do this. We can run out of town on the token Obnixilis. Oh, we can't. Silly me. Sorry for that. Broker's Hideout, of course, puts it into play tapped. So we'll go ahead and pass. We do have run out of town to destroy the token Obnixilis, which leaves us with only 1 mythic rare planeswalker to deal with, which is tight. Very tight and cool. Discard a card, no thanks. I like Obnixilis as a character. I like him in his, mob boss gangster suit. I think it's a pretty cool concept. I don't love him in this set because he falls into this area that I've railed against many a time on Red Mage, Blue Mage. These characters that come into a cool and interesting plane as an outsider, and all they do is just kill everybody, ruin the status quo, and unmake what makes the world cool. Which we've seen many a time. Like the Eldrazi, as cool as the Eldrazi are, they wrecked Zendikar, and they had to spend 2 whole sets trying to make sense of bring Zendikar back to what it was originally, which is what everybody loved. And in this set, Obnixilis just shows up, and he caps one of the major bosses, the family bosses. I don't know. I don't care for it. Alright, we drew nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and concede. Like I said, don't like to, but unfortunate. Do we need to look at introducing more blue sources? So far we've had plenty of green and white. Maybe we take out a forest or 2 for an island or 2. I'm going to do that, and I'll see you in game number 3. Alright, our opponent goes first, but for the first time in this draft, we will have a turn 2 Civil Servant, so I think we're going to have to keep. Despite once again having a opening hand run out of town that we have no way of casting currently. We included 2 more islands, so let's hope that solves our problems. Opponent is blue-white, plays Skycrier. Very good. We'll follow that up with our Civil Servant. I like our turn 2 better than theirs. Opponent is Obscura, and they play Toulouse Clever Conductor. 3/1, it ETBs and connives. And when they connive with her in play, they can then bank those cards, which they'll draw later. Pretty freaking cool. Going to attack with our Civil Servant. They're taking it, sure. We'll end the turn. It's 2019. We're going to get smacked pretty hard back, though. Okay, it's 16 to 20 now, and they have nothing to do. Let's go ahead and quick draw dagger, I guess. This feels like they have a swooping protector. Maybe they do, and maybe they don't. Well, we have a Voice of the Vermin. 4 mana untapped, and they didn't. No, they have a deal gone bad. So they're killing our Voice of the Vermin. Okay, no attacks for us then. Just keep our 3/4 Civil Servant back on defense. They have a hold for ransom, so okay, that's no good. We'll play a Speakeasy Server, gain a couple life. It's 13 to 21. I'm pulling at my color here. This is gonna have another deal gone bad, killing our Speakeasy. I'm jealous. Like, this is what I want to do, what they're doing in any given format. Play removal spells. Take out your opponent's threats. And we still do not have a blue source. Is this deck just bad? It's completely possible. We'll play our Cabaret Initiate. Got Double Strike. Chambered, ready to go. They're just hitting us with the Sky Cry. Cacaw. It's 8 to 23, and then they're done well. Let's do another forest. So we'll end the turn, put a stop on their turn. We can pay the ransom. They're paying 4 mana with the Sky Cry, so we can both draw a card. So we're just going to both be giving cards to each other. This is very exciting. Oh, so they're done, huh? Alright. Oh, we can only activate that as a sorcery. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, still getting pinged down by the Sky Cry. But Gathering Throng, how many do they have? That's always the question. Just one. Okay, they're in the same boat we are. Our turn. Another take to the streets, you say? Well, I guess we're going to pay the ransom. Why can we not? Because it's on the creature. Jeez, Lord. So now what? We can attack with our 3/4 Servant and give it +1. And lifelink. I don't think so, though. We just have to sit back. Loath as I am. They're parceling our guy. Playing another Skycrier. Hitting us for 4. Hitting us for 5. We're dead. Very good. Very good. I like it. I like the way it feels. I like the way it tastes. So we're 1 and 2. Can we rally back? That's the question. I think I know the answer. I think you do too. Opponent going first. We have all 3 colors of mana, which, as you would assume, means we don't have any blue sources, or any blue cards in hand, rather. Cabaret Initiate into Ceremonial Groundbreaker and Voice of Vermin with a prize fight as removal. I think we're going to have to keep. It's not an amazing hand, but seems fine. Opponent's going first, and they're really struggling over the decision, so maybe that's a good sign for us. Opponent did keep. They go Plains. Alright, well, we'll lead off as we have so often this draft with Cabaret Initiate. Rocket Raccoon himself. Opponent is white-black so far, playing Rafine's Informant. Great card. Great card. I wonder if they ditch a land. They don't. Okay, so that takes the decision out of our hands, which is nice. So we had prize fight. So I guess we just skip. We had prize fight. If they ditched a land and stayed at 2-1, I think the play was to prize fight it, take it out, and attack. But I'm not going to trade my Initiate plus a prize fight for their 3-2 that let them loot. They play Inspiring Overseer. Well, their deck is a class above for sure. We played a serviceable, not so great, crappy 1-drop. They've played 2 primo 2 and 3 drops. On the plus side, I think we're going to prize fight their Overseer. They're hitting us with the Informant, of course. No blocks. And let's prize fight our Initiate and the Overseer. So we trade there and get a treasure token, which now lets us play a Voice of the Vermin. We need them to stumble. We need them to not play a premium card against us this turn. There are plenty of non-premium cards they could play that would ruin us right now. A hold for ransom, and we're done. We've rattled off 3 lands for draws. We have 3 lands and a Ceremonial Groundbreaker in hand. Okay, so they go Rumor Gatherer, 2/1. When another creature enters the battlefield under their control, they scry 1. But if it's the second time they resolve it, they draw a card instead. It's definitely good. Scary times out here. The only good thing I will say about drawing all these lands is if we draw our Titan of Industry, that could be the thing that gets us back into this game. Perfect. Another Cabaret Initiate. Alright, let's play our Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Equip it. No attacks. We've got a 4/3 trample shield counter. Big boy. Shields are up, literally. Next turn we have a huge play we can make. Play a Cabaret Initiate. Our opponent goes Swooping Protector, 2/1 flash, flying shield. Lets them scry 1. They shipped a card to the bottom. We did draw the Titan of Industry. Okay. Well, we've got a game plan, which is just live. Meanwhile, they're going to be hitting us with this 2/1 flyer, but not really concerned about that. Just going to play our Cabaret Initiate, and I guess we could attack because we have the mana to activate our double striking Initiate. Currently have 5 mana, another mana in hand, which is a pretty good position to be in, because what this means is if we draw a land, we're happy. If we draw non-lands, we're pretty happy too. Opponent took the damage, so it's 17 to 15. Presumably, we're going to get hit with the Sweeping Protector this turn. They are incriminating. So choose 2 target creatures controlled by the same player, and we sacrifice one of them. So they're going to get a hit in. They play a Skycrier. It's kind of unfortunate. I think that card's pretty bad overall. That was like one of the few situations where it's good. We have exactly 2 creatures. We just attacked with 1. We're getting low-ish. Alright, so it's 10 to 15. Cabaret Courtyard. This pleases the courtyard. It's another land. It also means that we get our final forest that we needed. Pass to them. And on our turn, we will have the mana to cast Titan of Industry. And what are we going to do with it? Probably a Rhino and a shield counter. Play Dapper Shieldmate, that's fine. They're getting tons of scrying off of their Rumor Gatherer. Hitting with a Skycrier, sure. Not the Swooping Protector? That would be very puzzling. Yet that is what they do. Okay, it's our turn. Backup Agent. Wow. Perfectly timed. Just kidding. Player Titan of Industry. So we get to choose 2. Yeah, it's going to be a 4/4 and a shield counter. And the shield counter goes on our Titan of Industry. Now we're at 10. Do we go ahead and attack the 6/5 Voice of the Vermin? We need to get this game over with. So I do think we need to attack with it. Wouldn't be surprised if they start chewing through our attacks with their shield counters. That's what they do. So we take off a shield counter from the shield mate, but we do get some damage through, so it's 10 to 12. But now we've got a 4/3 Trampling Voice of the Vermin, which becomes a 6/5, 7/7 Reach Trample Shield Counter Titan, and a 4/4 Rhino. And, whoa, Backup Agent, just waiting in the wings, crazy. A lot of trample damage we're representing. A total of 13. They only have 7 toughness to block it. They're alpha striking right now. Excuse you? I mean, we're priced into blocking. Block the Protector and block Rafine's Informant. They might have the +2/+2. So if we block like that, if we block 4 and 3, yeah, I think that's how I want to block. Block the Shield Mate and the Rafine's Informant. You have to assume they have the 2 mana combat trick. No idea what this attack is about otherwise. Knockout blow, okay. Okay, so we go down to 5. They have 1 mana available. We can hit them for 13. We can hit them for 14 this turn. Because we could knock backup agent. It's so annoying. We're at 5. Next turn they can hit us for a total of 3. Boy, this is obnoxious. Is there anything we could draw? Because we can activate our Skybridge towers as well. Optionally. We can hit them down for 14. Do we just activate Skybridge? So we won't die to anything unless they have a combat trick. I think we just go for it. Yeah, so let's activate our Skybridge, draw a plains. Yes, great. Now we can play a backup agent and do what with it? I guess we just put another counter on our Trampler. Then pass. So sad. Literally 1 point of power away from winning right there. Take to the streets draw would be huge. Run out of town would be nice. We got lots of good draws. Pretty much the best thing that we could see is them activating their Sky Crier to make us draw a card. They didn't do anything. So now if we attack with everything, we could pump up our backup agent, and we've got a bunch of big attacks. You're looking at 12 trample attack plus a 4/4. They have to block a fair amount of it. 12 and a 4/4. So they block the 4/4 with a 1/1. And they just take the 12. So that doesn't matter. Oh, that sucks. I guess we play a land to pay for any ransoms that we might have to get through. And we just pass. We're both just passing right now, but they have 3 lands up. My guess is they're going to activate Sky Crier this turn. They're just looking for action, but don't want to do it on their turn. That's my guess. Nope, they just passed and did nothing. Had 3 cards in hand. All mana untapped. They have 5 available. So what, they have more knockout blows? Ooh, a Speakeasy Server. That's actually a good draw. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to run that. Gains us 3 life, so it's 8 to 15. Life's pretty nice now. Do we attack is the question. And if we attack with what? Because I'm worried about them having things that target attackers, so I don't want to attack with the Titan of Industry. I think we attack with the Voice of the Vermin. Yep, they have a kill shot. Yep. I figured that about had to be what they were rocking. So now what do we do? Do we put our Groundbreaker on our Speakeasy Server? Or a backup agent? It doesn't really matter. Just put it on our Speakeasy Server. We just have 2 giant flying blockers. This deck is garbage, man. One of those classic situations where it's like, what am I hoping to draw? A Jewel Thief? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. So we could attack with our 5/4 flyer. And then at least make them start answering the question of what are you going to do about it. They have 4 cards in hand. They just continue to not play spells. So I think there's a decent chance that they just have more kill shots, etc. Knockout blows. We're going to attack with our Speakeasy. Another kill shot. I mean, we knew it was there, but like, what do? We just sit here the rest of the game and never attack again? Play our Jewel Thief. Equip onto our backup agent in the turn. Suppose next turn we could move the equipment onto Jewel Thief and start attacking with some Vigilance Trample action. Play Revel Ruiner. 3/1 Menace. They're going to be able to connive. They keep a card on top. And then draw it. Yeah, it's probably very bad news. Run out of town, you say. Does this really buy us that much? We could attack with everything. We're at 8. They're going to have to do some blocking. How about we do this? Let's do this. Let's 3 mana. move the Groundbreaker onto the Jewel Thief, go to attack with our 5/4 and our 7/7. We've got 12 trampling damage coming at them right now. You have to answer this. They just blocked 1 damage with their Swooping Protector. So basically just gave up a shield counter for no reason. Now they're at 4. And then we can end the turn. Still have our 5/4 Jewel Thief and our 1/1 backup agent to defend us. We're at 8 life and we have a run out of town. Play a Corrupt Court Official. Good thing we kept a land in hand. So we can discard it to this garbage. Now we can get really skunked when they play a second one. They're just keeping everything on top of their library when they scry, man. Play another Revel Ruiner. Man, it's definitely not great for us. They get to draw a card, their second activation, and then they connive. It's pretty great. Wonder what they'll go for here. I mean, I can kind of see them just passing. If they pass, what do we do? I have no idea. So they're swinging with the whole squad. So we can go to blocks now. So we need to just live, basically. So we can run out of town one of their creatures and then kill them. Because they have 1 mana available. So we need to just not die. Well, that's easy. We kill the Rumor Gatherer. Oops, cancel that. We kill the Rumor Gatherer. We kill the Rafine's Informant. 2 blocks, and then we run out of town the Revel Ruiner. So we don't die. And then for 1 white mana, I don't believe there's anything they could possibly have that will ruin our day. So it's 5 all. Go to combat. Attack with our 7/7 trample and our 5/4 trample. And I believe that should be game. Miracle of miracles. We are at 2-2. Good lord. This deck is garbage. Oh yeah. And we won the game anyway. 2-2. Opponent goes first. Why not? Out of the way in the opening hand, why not? It's not all bad, though. Got a Broker's Initiate, got a Civil Servant. Do have a blue source, it's not bad. Drew a Gathering Throng, like that. That does almost assuredly mean we're going to draw our only other copy of it. But, you know, so be it. Opponent was turn 1 Rafine's Tower. Another Obscura Brew. Don't go Rafine's Informant. Ah, they did. Sweet. Alright. Run out our Initiate. Mana's a little awkward, but that's okay. Okay. Opponent is family fixing with their Shattered Seraph. Not super impressed by that card, but I think it's actually going to be pretty good against us. We don't love to see flyers, and we're not so fast that we're getting underneath that. Opponent goes Maestro's Initiate. Alright. So be it. I think we should just run out our Gathering Throng. Just because I don't want to draw the second copy. So a 3/1 that searches up other copies of 3/1s. It's a good card. It's definitely one of those that people have become more and more aware that they're very good. It's harder these days to get 3 or more copies of it. 2's not too bad, though. Opponent played Rafine's Silencer, so ETBs and connives. When it dies, it can give something -X, where X is its power. So what do we do here? Are we supposed to attack with our Gathering Throng? I think we are. Yeah, so they're just trading using their Maestro's Initiate. They already had one in the graveyard, so don't really care about that. Now we've got 4 mana. We could waste their time with an out of the way, or we could run them out of town, or we could just play Civil Servant. I think we're just supposed to play Civil Servant. Next turn, it all depends what they do, of course, but we could run out of town their Silencer, attack with the Servant, and activate its ability with Broker's Initiate. Or we could just attack with Broker's Initiate, representing the 5 mana to make it a 5/5. That's part of what makes Broker's Initiate bad. Oh, they're just attacking with their 2/2. Huh. Alright, we'll just take that. It's 19 to 20. They're going for Syndicate Infiltrator, 4 mana 3/3 flyer. We drew a Sparse Adjudicators. Well, I was going to run it out of town, but now I'm just going to Sparse. So now your fancy 3/3 flyer is just tapped and can't attack. And you're going to get attacked with Civil Servant activated. It's 22 to 17. So that wasn't very good for you. Like that. I wonder what we're supposed to do next turn, though. Wow, they're spending their turn to activate an exiled Maestro's Initiate. Draw 2, discard 1. Interesting. Okay, now it's our turn. We drew a Take to the Streets, which is definitely interesting. Well, so what do we do now? We can just cast Gathering Throng, put another citizen into play. Play Take to the Streets and do 6, 7, 8, up to 10 damage to them, but then nothing really interesting happens after that. Interesting. I think we're supposed to play Ceremonial Groundbreaker, equip it to Spar's Adjudicators to make it a 6/5 Trampler, and then we're supposed to attack. They could double block, kill it. Are we happy them losing 2 creatures for our 1? No, just pass to them. Problem is we want maximum citizens in play when we take to the streets. So they're playing Deal Gone Bad on our Civil Servant. Okay. A 1/1. They spent 4 mana, we spent 2. It's fine. So they do play a fetch land, which means next turn they'll be able to cast their Seraph. Which is definitely good. Interesting. Opponent's attacking with their Infiltrator. Just leaving behind their Silencer to block. Excuse you. Well, I think this is good for us because now we can just attack them. Both our creatures. So just going to damage. So we could do up to 10 damage or 11 damage to them if we wanted to. I have 2 mana available right now. Sure. Okay, so now it's 19 to 7. Now they're casting a little chat. Not casualtied. So they just look at the top 2. One goes in their hand, one goes on bottom. Okay. I mean, there's a chance that they're like just their deck is built to search for some bomb. So it seems like they're prioritizing filtering through their deck above anything else. They have a land. It feels like this turn they just need to Shattered Seraph to stabilize. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, it's very bad news if they do anything else. Okay, they're attacking first, sure. Attacking with just Rafine Silencer. Bizarre, but okay. 17 to 7. And then Grizzly Sigil. Sacrifice the Informant. And then activating. Okay, so they 2-for-1 themselves to take out our Adjudicators. Honestly, not a bad play. I mean, the 2-for-1 looks ugly, but now we have a Broker's Initiate in play. And they still have the mana to cast their Shattered Seraph. They don't. They cast a Quasar instead. I don't know. I'm very puzzled. So now what do we do? It's definitely bad, because now they have successfully milled enough cards that their Syndicate Infiltrator is a 5/5 flyer. But we can prize fight. Should we just do it now? Yeah, I guess we should. Rather than wait for them to draw the potential counterspell. Prize fight. We lose our Gathering Throng, but they lose their 5/5 flyer. 17 to 11. Quasar activates, so now it's 16 to 12. Certainly bad. I mean, we have an out of the way, a run out of town. Which are great removal spells, but no board presence, so we really can't take advantage of it. And a Take to the Streets with exactly one citizen in play, which is an 0-4, so it's not great. They're relaxing. They're exiling another Maestro's Initiate to draw 2 and discard 1. So they're going to drain us for 2 more. We're tied at 14. They play Nimble Larcenist. They're going to get to pick a card out of our hand. And Larcenist it. Larceny. Is there a verb form of larceny? Can you larcen someone else? A hold for ransom. It's probably not it. I guess we just equip the Broker's Initiate, making it a 2/5 Trampler. Oh, hell yeah. Could attack for 7 with it. Is that anything? Sure. I'm down to try. We're not winning any other way, that's for gosh darn sure. Alright, we hit for 7. It's 14-7. I mean, we're going to hit back for a lot. They start by draining us with Quasar. They still have that Shattered Seraph, 4/4 flyer that will gain them 3. Just hitting us for 2/1 with the Larcenist. Finally playing the Seraph. Tied at 11. And now what do we do? Well, we could hold for ransom and attack and hit them for another 7. Which I don't see as being especially good. Maybe we just start by attacking and see what they do. So we have an out of the way, which they know about. So their blocks are definitely awkward. So they're just taking it. So we could just do 7 this turn. Sure. Let's do it. Hit them down to 4. And then we need to hold for ransom them this turn. Just put it on their Seraph. Sure. We'd definitely be dead. It's 10-5. Any draw spell, any combat trick, and we will lose. But I do feel this is our best path to victory. I will say, I say any draw spell, but they're going to have to spend 7 mana to get rid of this hold for ransom. Which leaves them with 1 mana. So it's pretty hard for them to draw a card and pay the ransom this turn. Play a Maestro's Initiate. Their 3rd copy? I mean, that can't be right. And a Corrupt Court Official. So we discard a card. There's no way we can activate Broker's Initiate and cast Take to the Streets the same turn, so I guess we'll get rid of our Take to the Streets. Yeah, I mean, that was a good series of cards for sure. And then an Ominous Parcel. So we attack for 7, and they only need to block. They're attacking? They're attacking with their Nimble Larcenist. So we're down to 8. Did they just kill themselves? We have a run out of town and an out of the way now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't have enough to... We don't have enough mana to attack, activate the Broker's Initiate, and do a removal spell, which would be enough to kill them. So I believe our only play here is to pass the turn, see what they do. We have run out of town and out of the way. So we can bounce 2 creatures and maybe get them next turn. Meanwhile, we're still getting Quased. It's 7-6 now. Go to attacks. They're attacking with Nimble Larcenist, Maestro's Initiate, and Corrupt Court Official. Nope, they're rethinking. What could they have in hand? Bear in mind, we have up to a 7/5. They're just attacking with the Nimble Larcenist. So just 2 damage. Alright, we'll just take it. It's 5-6. They cast another Shattered Seraph. That's probably good enough for them to win now. Okay, let's resolve that. So now they're going to be at 9. We don't have a choice. We have to run out of town the Shattered Seraph. We drew Titan of Industry. It's definitely good. And then we'll go ahead and run out of town the Quasar. Are they going to keep that on top or bottom? It's hard to say. Keep it on top, okay? We drew Take to the Streets. We're at 5. For God's sakes, man. So we could attack them and knock them down to 4. And then die, right? Yeah. So that's not an option. So we just have to play Titan of Industry. Oh, but we can't. We don't have another green source. Well, it was a good game, wasn't it? So our only play now is to just attack with our Broker's Initiate. And then A, pray they don't block. And then on top of that, B, pray that there's a glitch in Arena. And Broker's Initiate gets an extra +2 power for no discernible reason. Oh, they did block it. So we'll just do our damage. And then we'll end the turn. And we're dead on board. A 3-1 Initiate and a 2-1 Larcenist. We are holding up 7 mana, so maybe it's a little bit scary for them. They're gaining 3 life while they're Seraph, so, and they have a 4/4 in play, so presumably they'll attack and kill us. They just attacked with the Nimble Larcenist. No way. They let us live there. I mean, we can't win. We're at 3. I mean, we're still dead on board. And now they know we don't have anything because we didn't do anything last turn. Play our Jewel Thief. Very good. Make a treasure token. We could take to the streets. Huh? Yeah, why not? Attack with our 5/8 Broker's Initiate. Vigilance. Not too bad. I mean, the board right now, we are tapped out. We have 1 card in hand. Okay, they're taking the damage finally. It's 3-6. We're just dead on board. Their flyers can kill us. And they're just taking their sweet time. Still taking their time. Selected the attackers. Still clicking through their steps. Okay, we're dead. There's a brief little window there. They gave us more windows than we deserved, to be sure. Well, 2 wins, 3 losses. This might be it. It might be it for the old Streets of New Capenna. Ooh, delicious gems for us. What a sweet, sweet treat. Thanks for joining me. As always, it's been quite the adventure. I am looking forward to something new. I think I am settling into the same general opinion as most people that has been put forward. Just Streets of New Capenna is definitely nothing special and a disappointment for sure. It's a cool setting, cool idea. The draft environment is not very compelling at the end of the day. I mean, you just saw it. We faced a bunch of blue-white decks. We played a green-white deck. And, yeah, it's time. Feels like it's time to move on. Unfortunately, we can't. We cannot. Well, this has happened before. The last long stretch we had was Crimson Vow, and I famously didn't like that, but we were stuck in it for a while, so never say never. I might be back. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.